On this episode of Indiana Expeditions, we follow trash from the curbside all the way to the runway. We learn that reducing, reusing, and recycling is already making an impact on the state of Indiana. And we find out that a place once known as the dump has become a self-sustaining energy source. Follow me, it's time for another expedition.
Indiana Expeditions with Rick Crosslin is made possible through the generous support of the Eli Lilly and Company Foundation, dedicated to improving the lives of patients and the communities we serve. The Dr. Laura Hare Charitable Trust, enhancing Indiana's natural environment through preservation and protection of ecologically significant natural areas, and promoting environmental education, stewardship, and awareness. And the Indiana Academy of Science, serving Indiana science since 1885.
Girls, it's time to take the trash out.
Are you kidding me? We don't do trash.
Well, if you don't do trash, someone has to do trash. Where do you think all this stuff goes?
I don't know. The dump?
I don't think they call it the dump anymore, Caroline. Come on, girls, it's time for a field trip. On this episode of Indiana Expeditions, I'm going to explore where trash goes. And I'm here with my neighbor Lloyd, who's seen a lot of trash in his day and where it goes. Lloyd, it's trash day. You know, is it the same it's always been around here in Danville?
No, it isn't. We used to not have trash pickup like this.
Like right now, we take out 2 or 3 big cartons of trash or cans every week. I guess today's landfill is not the dump of yesterday, that's for sure.
That is for sure.
Lloyd, thanks for your time. You know, today is trash day, and I gotta go get the girls to help me take out the trash.
I understand.
Somehow, after I talked to my neighbor Lloyd, the girls disappeared and left me to take out the trash. But I can still see where it goes. Hey, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I got one more bag for you.
Sure, drop it in.
Just put it in?
Go ahead.
That's pretty cool. So you just hook that on there and lift it on in, huh?
Pretty much, that's all the job.
What do you do next?
Excuse me. Just press the button right here and let the toe dipper do the rest.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Hey, I've been pretty curious of where my trash goes. You think I can go along with you?
I'm not sure about that.
Come on, man, it's for science.
Make sure you follow all rules.
Okay.
Here's your vest.
This is cool. Eduardo drove me right to the Twin Bridges landfill, operated by the company Waste Management. And my neighbor Lloyd was right. This is no old-fashioned dump. In fact, I don't see any trash as we drive up. There's something going on way off in the distance, which means it's hard for the people of Danville to see it too. Instead, they see Waste Management's soccer, a golf course, model airplane field, shooting range, hiking trails in a buffer zone between the actual landfill and the town. Hi, I'm here to learn about the landfill. Are you the expert?
Yes, I am.
So this is where the trash ends up, huh?
Yes, and it's only the beginning. What he's going to do, he's going to dump his load right now.
People think differently of trash than they used to. You guys don't just think of something that's supposed to be buried into the ground. I guess you want to keep the area protected environmentally, but do you have other uses for this trash?
It's no longer considered waste for us, it's considered a resource.
Wait a minute, this is a resource for you.
This is a resource for
You're going to
us.
have to explain how that's a resource.
This landfill is actually an engineered system. What we do is we use the trash. As it decomposes with time, it creates methane gas. And what we do is we collect this methane gas.
And they use that resource to fuel a power plant, which in turn makes electricity for Hoosiers. Well, this is where trash goes. After it's put down onto this field, this huge compactor starts to level it and spread it out so they can mine the methane gas down the road. While the top layer is still new trash, below it, the garbage has been there for a while, decomposing, and that's when trash becomes energy.
Once he's done drilling, this will be our gas well.
So the helpful byproduct of trash is methane gas. But they want to prevent another byproduct from leaching into the groundwater below. Wow, what's all this stuff? It looks like carpet.
No, this is plastic liner.
Plastic liner. How do you use that at the landfill?
Well, it begins all the way with cell construction. When you think of a cell, you want to think of a pie. We have liner on the bottom and liner on top, just like your pie. Crust on top, crust on the bottom. Here's an example of it. Pretty sturdy.
By putting this liner down, waste is contained in an impermeable cell, which means it doesn't leak. Every day more trash is coming. Waste management is doing a great job making the best of it, turning some of it into electricity, in fact. But there's only so much space for our unrecycled trash.
Well, we know where that trash goes, but not all trash should end up in a landfill. In fact, a lot of it should be recycled. Girls? You can start the recycling by pre-sorting your glass, your plastic, and your cardboard at home. Then people like Ray's can do the rest. Thanks, girls. Looks like you have the trash all ready to be picked up. I'm going to follow the trash back to Ray's Recycling Center to see how they help us reuse, redo, and rethink our trash. Hey, my name's Rick.
Hi, Rick. I'm Jeremy.
Jeremy, I got some recycles here, and I'm ready to learn where they go. What do? Just dump them in here?
Nope. Common mistake. We have to separate.
Separate,
Right.
okay.
Your paper and your cardboard products go in one bin. Your bottles, cans, and plastic go in the other. It's to keep from contaminating the load when we separate the recycling.
Well, it looks like this part of the job's done, but now the real work starts.
Well, would you like to go for a ride?
I'd love to. Time out, Jeremy. Who's doing the driving here? There's two wheels.
You want to?
That'd be cool.
Well, it depends on whether you, which side of the road you're picking up from. You can drive from either side. You have gas brake, turn signals, flashers, everything you need.
That's pretty cool. So I had no idea that these garbage trucks had that. I guess that saves you a lot of time, huh?
Yeah, it does.
Very cool. Well, let's get started.
All right.
Okay, Jeremy, I think I can help you this one. Where's this one go?
All right, paper and cardboard in the front.
Okay, and here's some more. This one here gets separated like that?
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, this truck looks like it's full. What do you do next?
Well, come on, we'll show you the whole operation.
All right.
Jeremy's trucks and many others just like it end up here, where they drop off the materials they collect from you at curbside.
Well, we're getting closer to learn where trash goes, and the first step here at Ray's is to separate it into different materials.
Yep, we're not done separating even here at the recycling center. Ray's marketing director, Britta Matthews-Cook, will help me sort it all out.
There's a lot of big equipment involved in recycling. There's a lot of costs that are involved in recycling, and a lot of people have the common misconception that your recycling at your curb is worth a lot of money. And it is as an end result. However, there's a lot of steps that it takes to get there, and we're going to see that today.
Okay, let's go, Britta. So this is your first big stop right here.
Yes, this is where the material is going to really start its journey in becoming another material. It's got to get separated from all of the different materials that are involved.
Now it's on to the conveyor belt. And upstairs, where workers sort different kinds of plastics and glass. Milk jugs go one way, clear plastics another. They end up in big bins like this.
We're up on the conveyor and this is down below. So what's going on here? These are what?
Well, this is what we were throwing off of the line right there. And this is how, again, one of the most important things about recycling is sorting. It's just getting it down to the sorted product. We will then be able to process this and sell this back either to make another milk jug or another type of plastic, because now it's segregated and it's by itself. And
It's
so
just
that's
one
the
type
result.
of plastic. So
Yes.
what's in the next bin?
Well, the next one
then what's in our next bin?
The next one we have some clear plastic, and that'll go back into water bottle production. It'll go back into making different types of plastic that you get your food and your beverages in.
And, oh, these are all different types of cans, steel cans. I don't see any aluminum. Britter explained that's because a big magnet grabs all the steel and drops it in this bin. And the aluminum keeps going on the conveyor until this air cannon-like device shoots the aluminum into a semi-trailer here. Okay, finally, the sorting is done. Now we get to crush them into giant bales.
This is going to be a bale. These bales end up to be anywhere from 800 to 1,000 pounds. And it's tied off with wire. And then once that comes off of here, we're able to store the material until the buyer comes to pick up the material.
So you've got it bundled up, and now I guess you need to take it somewhere.
Yeah. And what we've got here is we load it into semis, and we load the bales, each in its own respective commodity. Right here, it looks like we've got some milk jugs. For here, we've got some clear plastics, and right there, we've got some paper. So they're all going to different places. They're not going to go to the same mill.
And you tell me that this might end up being carpet somewhere in Georgia?
Yes. If you go and you look for carpet, Mohawk Industries is one. That's a lot of recycled water bottles.
Just another way to rethink, reduce, reuse, and recycle.
Absolutely, and you have to think about that the whole way through, from shopping and looking at what materials you're buying, to what can go in your curbside bin, to reusing it at home, repurposing something, as well as when it gets here, and we're looking for ways as well to help you out with that.
Well, you could help me out. Can you get me to the place where they burn the trash?
Yeah, let's go on down to Covanta.
Okay, thanks.
Covanta says every ton of waste it burns eliminates the need for a barrel of oil or 500 pounds of coal.
I'm here at Covanta, and this is definitely one place where trash goes. Let's find out what's going on with all of these trucks.
Look at all of them, in line to drop off the kind of materials that can't be immediately recycled. Remember, Britta said Ray's Recycling takes materials it can't use here to Covanta. Trucks tip their loads onto the tipping floor, where Covanta inspects the waste and sends it into a huge pit, more than half the length of a football field and 35 feet deep.
This represents waste that's been picked up all through Marion County.
That's correct.
And I see here a mountain of waste. Is that like a month's worth, a year's worth?
This is about 10,000 tons of waste, which is good for 5 days of operation.
Wow.
We're recovering the thermal energy that's contained within the waste. And once we do that and we make steam, we have a turbine generator that we make electricity with to supply our own in-house power, which is about 5 megawatts every hour. And then the rest of the steam is sent downtown to Citizens Thermal for use in heating or cooling Lucas Oil Stadium, Eli Lilly, or whatever other sources they have.
Before we can see steam, we have to get the fuel ready. And the fuel to run this power plant is your trash. This hungry claw grabs 7.5 tons of trash in one swipe.
Well, let's get it going. It's going to come down, huh?
Yeah, let's open her up.
Wow. It's like a big spider.
Now we'll go topside to see how it works.
So, Walter, looks like you have one of the best jobs of the whole place right here. You are the claw.
Yes.
I'll tell you, what's going on from your perspective?
30 times an hour, this claw grabs another big bite and hoists it up towards a hopper. The last stop before it burns and becomes fuel for a boiler that turns waste into steam.
This is called the stoker. The stoker is where the fuel is metered into the boiler based on the amount of steam we want to produce. This is one of the boilers right here. It's 34 feet wide.
So we're walking on the outside of where all the boiling gets done.
That's correct.
So what's in here, Joe?
This is the main control room. This control room's manned 24 hours a day.
Do you have a lot of people in here?
Actually, we have one person. He's, operating pumps and air pollution control systems, lime slakers, soot blowing. Each boiler will process about 750 tons per day each. We're generating about 200,000 pounds of steam every hour from each unit. So about 600,000 pounds of steam.
Some materials actually survive the fire that makes steam, like metals.
So you can see that there's a lot of aluminum in here, which is a non-magnetic metal. That's probably one soda can right there.
So that's one aluminum can.
That's right.
Ready to be recycled again. I tell you, there's a lot of science that goes into what you do, Joe, and I tell you, you're making energy, you're recycling, and you're using some cool science and technology.
Right.
I want to thank you for showing us where trash goes. I guess if it ends up here, that's still a pretty good choice.
Absolutely.
To make a difference with where trash goes, we need to start young. To learn more, I went to visit some friends of mine. I've heard about a crazy thing going on here at Raymond Park Middle School where a teacher is taking trash and making pizzas. I gotta see this.
They're making garbage pizza.
By sorting and separating trash, kids can learn the basics of recycling.
That is going to show them the different types, percentages of different types of garbage that we throw away all the time but can be recycled. We're talking about reduce, reuse, recycle. Those are the three things we're working on, and we started with talking about what recycling is.
So our whole topic here that we're talking about is recycling.
We did an activity last week on different types of recycling and kind of give them some little information about it.
And where should it go? Okay, there you go. I'll let you put it in there.
I think hands-on learning is the best way to learn. Science is a really hands-on thing, and I'm a hands-on person, so that's part of the reason I got into it.
It's clean garbage. I want you to sort your garbage in your pizza box. We're making a garbage pizza pie.
This is a very important lesson for them to do because it shows them everything that they use on a daily basis that they waste. So often they waste so much stuff. I just hope to make a difference somehow. I want to leave a lasting impression with them that'll go with them forever, hopefully.
Who wants to go sit on a beach with this sitting next to him? Not me.
You know, in this episode, we've been learning a lot about recycling and reusing and rethinking. But I'm at a place today that takes something like this and turns it into something brand new. Hey, how's it going?
Mark Daniels.
Mark?
How are you?
You know, I have some bags and I hear this might be the place to drop them off.
We put them in a recycling container and we can make them into our Gray is the New Green bag, a very high recycled content plastic bag.
Gray is the new green. I'd like
Gray
to
is
see
the
that.
New Green. We'd be delighted to show you the whole process.
Wow, there are a lot of bags here, so this is where it starts.
This is where it starts. The grocery stores will commingle the return materials from the grocery store with the back end films that they want to recycle. They bundle it, they put it on a trailer, they call us and we come pick it up and we bring it here and stage it and are ready to start reprocessing this material. We can mix together dry cleaning bags, plastic bags from the grocery store, bread bags, towel tissue overwrap, and then industrial stretch films that are also used in packaging at the back of the grocery store. We put them all into one big bale like you'll see here.
And that 1,000-pound bale will later become 67,000 new bags.
You guys have already done 2 of the R's. You've reduced it and now you're going to recycle it. Are there places like this all around the country?
This is the largest plastic bag recycling facility for the Cradle to Cradle program where we're going to make plastic bags out of plastic bags. There are other companies out there that will make composite lumber for decking and benches and things like that out of these as well.
You said this is the largest in Indiana?
The largest in the world. We'll recycle about 22 million pounds of this film and put it back into bags.
So, how did Indiana become the leader in recycling old shopping bags?
What we decided was that there were many bags out there that were going to the landfill, and what we could do was invent a way to recycle those plastic bags back into new plastic bags. This is where it gets dumped into the hopper, and while you're here, why don't you continue participating? How about giving us a start and dump that into the hopper?
That'd be cool. Okay. And so we dumped it, now it's headed up this way.
Now it's heading up the conveyor, and here's where we take out any kind of contaminants that might clog up the system. We'll get things like water bottles or soda bottles or strapping that really hurt the recycling program. So as long as we have nice clean films, it's very efficient.
So Mark, what's going on here?
Well, this is the last step in the shredding operation. And basically what we're doing is we are making this shredded process like this. Rick, this is called flake. That's the last of the shredding operation.
I can see why it's called flake. Whoa, wait a minute. I gotta ask about this. Kids will want to know. What is this?
Kids will want to know. This is the byproduct of all the paper and any other contaminants that we have to screen off. And we'll take this material and we send that to another company that makes corner boards for packaging.
This is too cool. Do you mind if I have a souvenir
Go
of this?
ahead.
Okay. I know some kids would like to see
that?
this up close. Pretty cool.
Very cool.
Now, the shredded flake will be remanufactured, first by heating it to about 400 degrees. It melts, and then they push it through a giant machine where it comes out looking like little pellets, a long way from the plastic bags they once were. Right now, 25 to 30% of the plastic in a Hilux poly bag comes from recycled materials they call resin. Their next goal is 40%. So, you have this product. What's next?
This is the final form of the polyethylene pellet before we manufacture it into bags. What do you say we go look at that next?
Great.
So Rick, what happens next is we take the recycled resin, virgin resin, color concentrates, we put them into a blender, we take that and it melts to 450 degrees. It becomes a liquid, we go through an extrusion process and we bring the bubble up, we hit cold air there, it expands it, and we make a big tube that we bring over to our converting lines to make plastic bags.
At first, they don't look like bags. They're plastic, all right. They're stretched in a kind of machine ballet. And for a while, they look like newspapers on a printing press before eventually they begin to take the shape as the bags you'll recognize at the grocery store. So this is where the final product is.
That's correct. We're all boxed up, and this is the final product that was manufactured with high recycled content resin in it. So we've gone from a bag that was brought back to a grocery store to resin pellets, recycled, and into a newly manufactured plastic bag.
And it's a gray bag.
And it's a gray bag, and the darker the color, the higher the recycled content.
And I guess you really don't expect this to be the final product, because your hope is
bring it back and we'll recycle it again and again and again.
Thanks, Mark.
Rick, very nice to have you here.
Hilux Poly has placed 30,000 recycling bins in stores around the country so they can recycle as many plastic bags as possible.
A lot of people know where this stuff goes. They throw it away. Smart people recycle. But I'm here tonight at a pretty cool event, the Trashin Refashion show, where young people have found other uses for the things we get rid of. For example, newspaper turned into a cool evening dress. Check it out.
No, we did not take Indiana expeditions to the runways of Paris and New York. We're in Bloomington, Indiana, where for one night, it's the Trashin Refashion capital of the world. Think of it as wearable, recycled art. I caught up with one of the designers, Kathleen Clark, an anthropology major at Indiana University, who actually studies people who make fashion from trash. I love your outfit. Tell us a little bit about it.
Thank you so much. This is the bow made out of an old calendar, and my outfit later tonight is made out of chicken wire, cans, and newspaper.
Chicken wire.
Chicken wire.
That someone would throw away.
That someone would throw away. It's all rusted, and I found it in a dumpster.
Now you've taken what someone throws away and found a really good use for it.
Right. I've recycled it and made it back into fashion, and now I can show people my artistic designs instead of having it in the landfill.
And
what made you do something with trash for fashion?
Well, I like to recycle, and I thought it'd be really interesting to try something like this, and it seemed really fun, so.
So you're not only going to be showing us what you made, but you designed it also.
Yes.
And where'd you get your idea for this?
I liked the idea of using a trash bag as a skirt, and so I also wanted to have flyers on it, but the flyers started to look a little strange, so then I put tissue paper on it, and it looked prettier.
Some of this art is just out of this world. Now, you guys are the
Albedo Pilgrims.
The Albedo Pilgrims. Now, I'm a science guy, so I know what albedo means. It's a reflection off of the earth, like ice and snow. So I see why you guys are dressed like this. So what's your message tonight?
Our message is to do what you can to fight global warming by doing the right thing. Increase your albedo, increase your reflectivity, and everyone can play a part.
So you see, the folks here tonight are very committed to the environment and to recycling. It comes down to the simple message from designer Kathleen Clark.
You should hold on to what you're getting ready to throw away and create something new with it.
And that's what we've seen throughout this episode of Indiana Expeditions. Curbside recycling that turns materials into many different products, or just one new plastic bag from old ones. There's steam power that comes from burning non-recyclable trash, and electricity that begins as methane gas at a landfill. So many people are reducing, reusing, recycling, and rethinking what becomes trash and where it goes. Look at this mess. I discovered it on a recent visit to the South Pacific. This is what can happen if we don't practice the 4 R's. But I know you'll work with me to help keep Indiana clean, right? I'm Rick Crosslin. See you on the next Indiana Expedition. For more information, extra content, and lesson plans, visit indianaexpeditions.org.
Indiana Expeditions with Rick Crosslin is made possible through the generous support of the Eli Lilly and Company Foundation, dedicated to improving the lives of patients and the communities we serve. The Dr. Laura Hare Charitable Trust, enhancing Indiana's natural environment through preservation and protection of ecologically significant natural areas, and promoting environmental education, stewardship, and awareness. And the Indiana Academy of Science, serving Indiana science since 1885.